You know, it's not actually that strange a request, I feel like. Kinks. Well, if there was ever a safe time to kind of explore that, I would say, oh my goodness, you found me. Rennie B, what are you doing here? You just caught me chatting to myself with no audience, just monologuing. Who checks Twitter? Come on. Ugh. Have you heard of this game? It's called Kind Words. And basically, you go through sort of solving, not necessarily solving other people's problems, but people kind of use it as a form to sort of submit their own personal concerns, and they look for kind of anonymous feedback. So it's actually a really neat sort of uh, public service platform, almost, I feel like. Since you're the only chatter in here, by the way, can you. So an Ask Jeeve Lonely Heart style game? Kind of. It's got a lot of interesting things built in. And I mean, you don't have to just answer things. You can put out requests into the world yourself. But there's no back and forth, and it's all sort of a one-time, one-way communication. So yeah, these are all real people. So I'm trying to see here. I feel like I had an epiphany because I saw a streamer playing this the other day, and I was like, I'm pretty damn old now. I think I can, you know, confidently give out advice. So via game instead of Ask Reddit. Yeah, no, I'd say that. I think the fact that it kind of abbreviates you to one letter and makes it so that people can't kind of reach out to you uh, helps with the anonymity of it. I heard Sergeant Pepper needed his Lonely Hearts Club band. Hey, Azarada, long time. Oh, God. 7 years? 8 years? When's the last time we talked, Azarada? Yeah. But Rennie, I think for the most part, I'm actually a little surprised because of all the times I've played this game, it's been pretty consistently popular, and that's what I really like about this. Like, no one's being a jerk, no one's like, it's lightly moderated, but since it's such a small game, I can't imagine like there's a whole team behind it. But yeah, no, it's super wholesome. And I mean, it's lo-fi, it's good vibes. You give each other cute stickers. So I kind of want to spread awareness of this. The last time we talked was probably you were streaming Persona 4 Arena. Oh my god. Azarada, that is a long time ago. I remember we met because I wasn't even playing Persona at the time, but you were into the Persona memes and I was super into the Persona memes. God, it's nice to see familiar faces or familiar names from way back in the day. How have you been doing? It's been 7 years. I feel like most of my old audience, they must have at least graduated college. Some might be married for all I know. It's like it's like the time gap between. Yeah, indeed. It's like the time gap between Avengers 1 and Avengers 2. Like Thanos snapped, 7 years have passed, and suddenly I'm getting the band back together. Let's see. So what do we say to X, who who clearly has some body issues, maybe some body dysmorphia, and is a little afraid of his personal kinks? Yeah, Rennie, I know. Same principle though. Like seriously. Oh, hey Seal, welcome back. You actually came back. No, I appreciate it. We're helping younger people again today. Let's see. I want to casually hook up with people, but don't know a safe way to do it. I don't know that hooking up is necessarily considered a kink. That's just most guys in their 20s, I think. There's been a bit of family drama, but I'm still mostly put together. No, well that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, we've been going through a rough couple years. I hope you're at least clear when it comes to the disease side of things. One of the old viewers last time I streamed was, I think, from Florida, but thankfully he came out of it safe. I don't think they're saying hooking up is their kink. They just want to have casual sex and explore their kinks. Safely. Yeah, no, I was gonna say. Nonsense. Most cool people are virgins. Hey, Jonathan. Welcome back. Most cool people are virgins. Buddha, maybe Jesus. Shows a real winner to come back to. Hey, Tarragon. Welcome back. Which reminds me, how do I do this? I want to make Rennie be a mod, because I've known Rennie be a while. But I can't remember how to do this. Oh god, I'll have to come back to this later. Hey, good for you, Azarada. If you're just talking about sexual exploration, I think you're in about the right time to do it. Oh boy. As for safely doing it, to be honest, I'm not sure I can give too much good advice on this one. As for safely doing it, obviously use protection, but also consider getting the HPV vaccine at the least. I believe it became publicly available not too long ago, and a lot of older people never got the chance. Yeah, hooking up with randos. All we can really say is just like, you know, have safe sex. Be careful. Haven't been playing too much fighting games online. Still occasionally hope to have the sort of enjoyment of the games I used to. Yeah, no, I was thinking the same too, Azarada. I can't keep up with fighting games. And so now I gotta play, you know, slow-paced, lo-fi self-help games, which isn't a bad thing. Especially at this age, right? What sticker do I send this guy? It's gonna sound pretty bad, but when I look at this slime, I think it looks like a condom, so maybe that's kind of appropriate. Think you're about the right time to do it, but also consider getting the HPV. I believe it became or splooge, yeah. Splooge for sure. Hookups. Oh. Try visiting a sex shop. sometimes they have seminars. I was told this once. I never actually gave it a shot though. But apparently sex shops actually do have kind of educational events. Yeah, I know. Seminar is kind of a weird word, but you know. They have people talk, and they teach you about this stuff. I mean, I got Marvel on Xbox One on the slip. Oh man, Azurata, I'm sorry. I bought Marvel on Steam and nobody was playing that. Am I allowed to ask the age or decade? Jonathan, you've been following me for over 7 years, so I think you're allowed to know that I am a man in my late 30s. And I don't feel afraid to say that because I think all of you are pretty old at this time. So I think we're all old together. I'm an engineering student in college. I feel really burnt out. Everything just seems to be too much for me. Ah, relatable, relatable. Yeah, Azurata, I'm kind of keeping my eye open for, what was it? The Riot fighting game coming out. Because that actually looks pretty good, but we'll see. We'll see when it all happens, and maybe I'll be able to, we'll see if we'll be able to keep up. We just need a game that's hype, you know? And I don't know if Windjammers 2 will be enough. So Z here is interesting because I feel like I went through the same exact thing in college. What's tricky is that when I ran into this problem in college, I dropped my major and became a communications major. And I know most of you are too old for this, but don't become a communications major. If you ever have the circumstance to mentor a younger person, tell them not to be a communications major. Through the same exact thing. I think as a university student, it's hard to know or hard to remember what all this hard work is about. Have you tried any internships? I think it's important to know what your studies are going towards, and that might motivate you to keep going. Likewise, you may also discover you don't actually love engineering either. But that Friday Night Funkin'. Don't even talk about rhythm games, man. I didn't upload the VOD, but I think you all know how Persona 4 Dancing All Night worked out for me. You don't actually love engineering, but that's not such a bad thing either. Just figure out what you're working towards and go from there. Alright, and because he's an engineering guy, I'm gonna give him a robot. I'm gonna give him this faux Optimus Prime with a thumbs up because that's appropriate. Yeah, you know, I thought about Parsec too, especially because depending on what game you play, it could be really useful, but I think you have to know the people you're playing Parsec with, so it's not like a randoms kind of matchmaking situation. Newgrounds. Oh my god, Newgrounds is a thing. I've been in SA in the past. What's an SA? I've been SA? in the past by someone who was meant to be my safe place. I still have flashbacks even after counseling. Any tips on how to overcome this, even after 4 years? Sexual abuse. Hmm. That's a tough one, too. I have been sexually abused in the past. That was not to be. Yeah. No, it's probably sexually abused because someone inflicted this onto this person. Sorry to hear you had that experience. That said, it's been 4 years and you're still with. Oh no, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. Rephrase. Holy shit. I want to commend her, or him. I want to commend them on still persevering these past 4 years. But I don't want to make it sound like good job not killing yourself, because that's horrible. I'm glad to see you're persevering still and aren't above asking for help, even on a platform like this. Even better that you sought counseling. Feeling of being betrayed by someone. The pain doesn't really go away. I mean, I think that's the catch, right? It's an issue of rebuilding trust, or rebuilding trust with almost anyone. I get the feeling the thing you're having trouble with is trust. Hmm. Maybe trust meeting new people. Or I get the feeling you're having trouble with is trust. Or trusting yourself to trust. Tough one. Because we can't reduce this. We can't say we all experience, betrayals and try to trivialize it like that. Healing doesn't necessarily mean you have to forgive the offending party. I actually completely agree with that, Azarada. I've had I've had my fair share of toxic relationships, and I can speak from personal experience that you can live a perfectly normal life never forgiving someone. As spiteful and maybe aggressive as that sounds. I don't know if it's necessarily the case for this person. I don't think they're consumed with resentment towards this person. But I think they're just kind of afraid now. And it's sort of. Hmm. Hey, Seal. Welcome back. Uh, we are trying to help someone who has trust issues due to a past betrayal. I get the feeling that they're afraid of trusting again due to the serious nature of what happened to them. Yeah. Are these real or really good writing? Jonathan, these are actually real submissions. In case, just as a recap, this game is called Kind Words. No, Rennie, they are real. They actually are real. I'll put out my own submission after this one. We'll get responses. These are actual people. Well, I mean, allegedly real, right? Like, as real as you can believe it's people writing these. And it is people writing these. Oh yeah, and you get to customize your own cozy room in this game. When you get stickers or when you send out stickers, they manifest into like little physical objects. So like this penguin and the rabbit and the squirrel, these are all real. These are all stickers I've gotten from people. I'll walk you through it in a bit. But first, let's finish with this one. Any tips on how to overcome this? Think you need to start rebuilding that confidence in yourself to judge character. Later, Rennie. See you back if you come back. See, chat, we got all kinds, and we're all mature adults now. Isn't that crazy? My friend Rennie has a child and is still coming in to participate in chat. Yeah, Azarada, I did a similar thing too. I basically wrote a lot of my personal insecurities in the form of fiction and kind of I don't know if it's right to say self-therapy, but well, we're all adults. We're all grown-ups. That's what's important. Uh let's see. Judge confidence, judge character. Maybe sharing more of yourself with your friends, or try making new ones. Boundary pushing. Let's go with that. It's a tough one to diagnose for sure, but I think for situations like this, I mean, for almost any situation, right? For this platform, it's that people want to hear anything that's at least a little genuine and a little kind-hearted. And I think that's all that matters. Well, that's mostly what matters. This person wants to get buff. We'll come back to that. But let's see. I don't know that I've overcome any of my traumas. I mean, that's also kind of part of it too, right, Seal? Like, we get a little romanticized about how we overcome the human condition. I don't know that anyone truly overcomes their traumas because, I mean, the aftermath is still with us in one way or another. Yeah. But it's about kind of learning to live with them. I went to therapy for a while myself, and the end conclusion I came to was that you'll never really get fixed, and you'll never solve the problems affecting you. But therapy is really all about coping and learning to live with the situation you're dealt with. And so I think it's important, especially in situations like these, not to give kind of empty platitudes of like, yeah, you'll get over it. Don't worry. It'll happen in time. It's meant to be. Like, I honestly think there's such a thing as toxic positivity and sad shaming. It's unfortunate, but you see it a lot in like sort of youth ministries are pretty notorious for that sort of behavior too. Not to offend anyone who's religious, but it's sort of it's a lack of empathy. And even though it comes from a well-meaning place, I think it's a very common situation that comes a very privileged kind of perspective as well in some ways. But yeah, let's see. Let's put a real query out into the world because some of you seem to be skeptical. Be skeptical as to whether this platform is actually real. So let's see. Oh yeah, no, Get Over It is hugely dismissive. It's reductionist. It basically tells you that your feelings aren't special or they don't matter. Would I say it's toxic masculinity? I mean, a lot of times it is, but it is a nothing answer. And it's the kind of answer you get from people who don't really care to understand. Let's see. I don't really want to deal with your issue. Yeah, no, that's how it kind of comes off a lot of times. Let's see. Do you believe in toxic positivity or sad shaming? I feel like I encounter a lot of people who aggressively push for positive only perspectives, and they tend to be very dismissive when it comes to me trying to express my feelings, especially when they're sad. So, this is an example. I'm not going to say this is how I feel right now, just for the record. But this is definitely something I felt a lot during my childhood, but definitely growing up, even as an early to mid adult. I'm not actually that sounds a little weird because it's not like I'm a late adult either. But I think this is a very relatable circumstance that not many people get to speak openly about. So we'll send this out into the world. We'll check back in about, 10 to 15 minutes, and you will know that this is real. I've hit a block. I am lost as to how to remove it. I am empty till I twist the key. Poetry. Come on, man. Don't throw poetry at us. How are we... Ugh. I'm not kidding when I say a lot of these posts are very like teenagery posts. By the way, since more of you guys are paying attention, let me know if audio is a problem at all. Like if the game audio is too quiet or if my voice is kind of like crackling. Fake it till you make it. I mean, it's not an invalid philosophy. It's got its merits, but I don't think it's a good catch-all sort of piece of advice. I've hit a block. It's like it's an illusion. God, do I humor this one? For the record, I do have a very low tolerance when it comes to people beating around the bush. This person's clearly feeling very melodramatic about whatever it is bothering them, but there's not much to go on here. And my first impression was to respond to say, like, try clarifying the situation to yourself and maybe it'll be more clear, but that just sounds passive aggressive. I'd hate to do this, but I think I'm gonna have to pass on this one. Got it. D. I think you're on a great game right now. Got a computer for the first time in years. I imagine he's saying a good computer, but all joking aside, I replied to, yeah. I mean, there's no real obligation to answer all of them, but you know, I'd like to give it the good college try. I feel like I could relate to I could relate to most of them. Dead or alive beach volleyball. Let's give him an honest answer. Let's see. Give actually world shot. It'll give you lots of hours and hunting monsters is great. The food also looks amazing. I'll give him that meat sticker. Imagine if one of these letters was about something super specific like making a frog deck. I mean, there is the ability to actually report some of these requests. So if you start to get a little too trolly, I think people will actually kind of shut you down. COVID finally found its way into our family, and now we're all sick. I guess my wife and daughter have passed the peak of it already, but I'm just getting there, and it's really tough sometimes. Wow, we actually got a proper adult and family man sending out something out here. Hmm. It's really tough sometimes, especially for daily life. Amen. Don't feel too pressured at actually having to take the time off to recover. Since you mentioned your family, I'm getting the sense that you have a strong sense of trolling, yes, but you'd be surprised how serious some of the more out there questions get. No, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I think it's just, you look at this background, you listen to this music, and it's like, it's really hard to really want to try to bullshit in this game. Strengths of personal responsibility. It's really, especially when I still have, I don't think he's having a hard time with the recovery, but what it's like to vibrate in your chair when you feel like you need to be You're literally chatting up a guy playing Jones. No, I know. I know. You and Sad Happy Mad all troll people. But you're not assholes, and that's what's important. Drink lots of water. Eat even if you're not hungry. And just try to recover as not efficiently, as well as you can. It'll be a stretch to say to enjoy your downtime. But deal with things when you can deal. Kevin Maka plays Viper May Cry. Oh god, the good old Marvel days. And Kevin Haas still holding together the community. Let's see, what do we give this guy? What do we give this guy? Ooh, lemonade or... Let's give him coffee. We'll say it's tea. Kevin Maka. Oh, who else was there? Azarada. There was another dude that you ran around with. I'm trying to remember his name because I saw him on Twitter recently too. Kevin Solis? Oh, that's Kevin Maka. That's right. That's right. I'm scared I am a sociopath because I do not feel things inside besides dread, anxiety, fear, or anger. I haven't felt happy in years. Even if I... How do I deal with this? I feel so different from others. I get the feeling this person may have the wrong definition of sociopath in mind. What you're describing, I don't think that's sociopathy. It sounds a lot like depression, anxiety. I want to say it's common, but I don't want to make him feel like he's boring by any means. Flavor of I've gone through a phase of that myself for a good number of years. Have you considered seeing a professional? I know it sounds dismissive in a way, and people probably say that. I know that sounds dismissive, and that people suggest it often carelessly, but it has helped me in the past. not sure if you should call it a phase. I've gone through that. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, a phase is also has some bad connotations for that. Good call, Jonathan. Phases are for teenagers. Yeah, I mean, once again, we don't want to demean what they're feeling. That people suggest it often carelessly, but it has helped me in the past. I think the biggest hurdle is making that decision. And sometimes people don't do so until they hit rock bottom themselves. Sometimes people won't even do so. Give it some thought. I don't know, does that last part sound a little... I hate the notion that like whenever you end a sentence with a period, sometimes that comes off as weirdly passive aggressive. Let's give him a turtle. Would that imply spicy depression? There's spicy depression out there. I'd believe it. Uh-oh. We got an F-bomb. Due to past substance abuse, I'm now in the process of withdrawal, but it feels so bad that I feel like I can't do anything. Even writing this is painful. I'm supposed to go to class in 5 hours. It's too painful and humiliating. Yikes. Yes. If you're going through withdrawal, that means you quit. Like a bit too formal. Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's the problem with punctuation, right? Like, we can't just talk to each other and just exclamation marks and emoji. I mean, I guess you can, but like, I'm fucking in my late 30s, so I can't. My personal my personal pride won't allow it. But it's, you know, it's, I don't know if anyone else deals with this, but like, I often feel like I have to add extraneous emojis or an exclamation mark I don't really mean, just so people don't get offended. Withdraw. Right. Good catch. Good catch. My typo would have demeaned any sort of helpful insight I might have been able to provide. If you're going through if you're going through withdrawal, that means you quit. You should be proud of that fact. Hmm. And you should be proud that you're trying to reach out for support in any way possible. Withdraw. You know, it's one of those things I probably never learned how to spell properly. It's a word you always hear, but you never read. You should be proud that you're trying to reach out for support in any way possible. I've never dealt with substance abuse, so I can't say that I can relate, but I think the best way we can kind of go about this is to at least make them not feel bad about the fact that they're going through it. afraid I don't have the personal perspective to relate. I do. Oh God, Azarado, you were that kid. With the physical pain of it, I do understand shame and humiliation. And I want you to know that as long as you're walking away from your past substance abuse, you should see that as you should see that as something more than a reminder of past mistakes. Let's go with that. We'll send him the sticker of a frog that looks like it's hugging itself. Yeah, tough deal. Tell me about your... Ah, man. I don't have anything constructive to say. Well, here's the thing. I can tell this person about my last stream, but I don't know that it would necessarily improve their day. Well, maybe this could be fun. We'll do this one, and then we'll check for responses on my previous note. I dreamt that I was getting introduced to my new boss, who was a raging asshole and said I looked like a dumbass upon first meeting. I then said I would quit and knew it would be a problem for them because I do a lot at my company and they'd go into the shitter. Then I was rudely awoken by a phone call from my car insurance company, and I didn't get to see how that played out in the end. But I'm sure I would have woken up happy from it. See, this is the shit you dream about as a middle-aged man. You don't dream about magic or, you know, fictional situations. You dream you dream about real life likely scenarios and have an exactly perfect and rational response for it. Oh God, it's hard to walk away from these. Because like if I go away, maybe I won't see this request later, but then that means someone else will answer it, right? So it's not like we're just leaving these things unattended to. I had a real bad dream the other day. Actually woke up with a miniature existential crisis. Yeah, I mean, Seal, that happens sometimes too. I've had my fair share of those. The stock would have gone down and bought up like GameStop. God, that was like, what, 2 years ago? Was that 2 years ago? Or was that last year? Like, what the hell, man? Like, all this stuff happened. Oh my god, someone sent me a disease. Drooper? What is this thing? This looks like a microbe. Alright, let's see. The deer is delivering some answers. Alright, let's go. See, this is proof that this is a real thing. That people are sending out messages and that this is all happening in real time. Ooh, soda pop. Sorry if this isn't what you meant. I feel like being so different is what makes us all unique. People I know who'd be considered pessimists are actually some of the best and most intelligent people I know. Plus, being positive all the time doesn't work. Every emotion is valid. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Personally, people have made me feel guilty for having a negative mindset, so yeah, I definitely believe in it. Hasta luego. See, and this person right here just... I believe they just wrote out the synopsis for, what was that movie? Inside Out. Right? Because the main character, Joy, she was toxic as fuck. She was like, only happiness. No room for sadness. Sadness bad. Get out of the way, sadness. I don't want to give them a disease. So let's look for something better there. Alright. Imagine saying, have you tried not being sad? Honestly, I feel like that was... Every time I went to a freaking youth ministry, grew up religious by the way, I felt like that's what it was like all the time. And it was so funny because being raised religious and being very seriously religious, I was super hard on myself. And people didn't understand why I couldn't just be happy with the notion that Jesus will forgive all your sins. When, like, you know, you read it by the book, and by the book I mean the Bible, and you're like a horrible human being. If you actually paid attention to it, of course you feel terrible about yourself. Meanwhile, I got these giddy assholes in the rest of the youth ministry being like, why is he so sad all the time? Have you tried not being sad? Right. Just stop being sad, forehead. I might be venting a little much about my childhood experiences. Yes, it is absolutely a thing. Toxic positivity is a pseudo-profound, self-righteous attitude that should be avoided for your own mental well-being. We can't be robots programmed to only be positive. Please try sending your friends articles about toxic positivity. It is very real and very damaging. See, no, don't put your real name on this thing. I'm just gonna call you K, but K, don't do that. Cat's making many loud demand. Ah. Nah, no problem, Seal. Thank you for dropping by. Send my regards to your cat. Oh god, yeah. If you participate in this game, please do not put your real name on there. This is by design. Azarada, this is a safe space. We can talk about things. It's cool. Space seal? Is this like a piece of tofu? What is this? Yes and yes, 100%. I feel as though a lot of people in this world are like that. deep down is an ungrateful self. Oh, God. I'm sorry you live with this person then, Jesus. Yeah, I have a friend whose roommate was super all about the positivity. Ugh, positivity. To the point where she was telling my friend not to be friends with me. Because I was too much of a downer. And I was like, damn. What kind of person do you have to be to tell someone to stop being friends with someone because they're unhappy? Do not like the idea of others shaming people for their mental health or how happy they seem to be. I get this a lot with my parents. They don't seem to see how bad it's affecting me. But when I talk about things, I mean talk about things. I can ramble for a while. Azarada, you are describing the classical Twitch streamer. You realize this, right? Like, if I'm not talking endlessly, this it's just dead silence in this stream. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a weird thing or a thing to be avoided, but you know, just try not to flood out other people if they want to type things in the chat is all I'm saying. Don't let other people tell you how you should be presenting your emotions. It's actually a little reassuring to see that people seem to relate to this. And that's also kind of like the name of this game, right? Like, so far we haven't had a single person try to sad shame me yet. And I think that's great. I think that proves that this platform is excellent. Let's see. I'll give him this frowny boy. Let's see. We got anything else? Oh man, we got a lot of people responding to this one. You're not alone in that, Han. Who says Han? Midwesterners? People have always preferred not to hear happy things. Take how are you type of conversations. Most say good, fine, but both sides don't want to get into anything under that threshold. Oh man, I didn't want to give off the impression that I had no friends. They gave me a soda pop though. Dude, as a religious kid, I said some bad stuff, like, why did God make me and I feel like a mistake? Stuff I don't think about until certain times, usually sad times. Yeah. Dude, isn't it crazy, Jonathan, that like, it's weird because I don't see this in enough religious kids, but like, there is so much guilt driven into us as a result of that upbringing. And so it always blew my mind that there were like, the majority of the kids I met at church were like surprisingly carefree about all of that. Oh, I put this one out a couple, like last week maybe, back when I was thinking about should I press that go live button again? I mean, some of you came back, so I'm pretty happy about that at the least. But yeah, it's it's a little embarrassing to actually get outed for this one in front of a live audience. But I have to say, this is fun. I'm glad I gave this another shot. And it's interesting to see sort of how much the platform's changed, but also, I mean, how different we are as a participating audience, right? We're all adults. We all have pretty good kind of takes these days. None of you have said anything horribly racist or homophobic in chat, and that's great. Granted, we aren't at double digits yet, but still, I'd like to think that if like 80% of the old crowd came back, we'd all be really good and well-balanced human beings. What is going on here? Figuring out. It's a heavy subject, but at the same time, I feel like this person isn't quite coherent. I don't know. Am I being too spell check judgmentalist? I didn't even know it worked that way. I guess if you're trans, you could still use the new organs. 23F. How do you stay sane at a job you hate? I'm 7 months into working at a well-respected company. But I hate the work I have to do, and there's so much of that working. That working 12. Once it picks back up, someone's gonna think they can get away with the shenanigans. Dude, if I start playing fighting games, we are definitely gonna get some of those kids back in the chat. That's, if anything, I'm most terrified that if I start playing trendy games again, some little asshole's gonna come in and say something inappropriate. Oh, 23 female. That's what they mean. Okay. Looks like you're still pretty early in your career. As someone who's been working for, let's see, when did I start working? Oh, chat is paused due to scroll. 23F, my favorite command, normal input. 23F sounds like that would be a sliding sweep, maybe. Like a low medium sweep. That might be like May's sliding anchor foot sweep attack. 23F. I wonder why they feel the need to just to specify that. Let's see, how long have I been working? Since 22? So... Oh god, don't do math, guys. Don't do math. For 15 years. I can... Am I using the who's right? Or is it who's? It's been working for 15... I can totally relate. The funny thing is that... Who has it? I think. The funny thing is that working at a famous or prestigious company doesn't necessarily equate to success or happiness. It just comes with a reputation. It just comes with a reputation. Kind of like college. Don't feel like you have to work there forever, but if you can get a year out of it, it might make other recruiters pay attention. Who has? I'm willing to bet you guys in the chat probably work, right? How do you feel about the situation? Like, I'm sure we've all had shitty jobs at some point, or shitty careers even. The least. Also, quitting is the best feeling if you're prepared to do it. I want to write it! God damn you, character limit. Oh. It's not a character limit, it's a line limit. And here I'll give her a winky face, because that seems appropriate. And she can have an angry soda pop. Alright, what else we got? Oh yeah, I was meaning to mention, by the way. Like, I know I'm starting off pretty low energy with this game. And I'd like to make it a regular thing, but I think I'll try to mix it up over the weekends. Like, I think it's pretty obvious I work a day job, so it's hard to really commit a lot of time after a working day, especially when, like, I haven't eaten dinner. But I'm thinking in the weekends I'll try other games. I'll try to do, you know, a little more high energy, a little more fun stuff, unlike the Saturdays and Sundays when I have that time. So in case you're wondering if it's always going to be like this, I'll try to, you know, try to add a bit of variety to things. Oh God, we're going from someone who hates their job to someone trying to find a job. Struggling to find a job for over a year. My last job basically had me sit in an office all day and do almost nothing. Whenever I see why would you help this company or what achievements have you done at your job before, I just sit there and have nothing. Whew. We all know that feeling. Do you? Sorry to hear you're struggling. It's definitely a weird time to be job hunting, especially if you don't have a large resume. It sounds like you didn't get much fulfillment from your last job. Have you considered trying a different career? I know it sounds dooming and awful to start from square one, especially if it's unrelated to your education. But sometimes you might end up in a direction that's more fulfilling. Food for thought. And because I said food for thought, I'm gonna make a pun out of it and send them a meat. Ah. Friendship jealousy. Jealousy? Yeah, for sure, Azarada. Thanks for dropping by. I I had a realization. I was like, If I start stream at 7, is that fucking late? Like, are all the people who used to follow, will they be working day jobs? Will they have to go to bed soon because they have to go to work? So I appreciate you dropping by and saying hi. It's been really nice to sort of reconnect with people and kind of reminisce, see a name in chat, remember them, remember that I used to play with them, and talk like old times. But you be safe out there. Freaking Omicron's going all over the place, and I think like 9 people at my workplace have tested positive since the month started, so be safe. That goes with the rest of you listening in chat. I don't know who the other 6 of you are, but I hope you're having a good time. Let's do one more request and call it a night, because I too am a working person, and I need to eat dinner at some point. Let's make it a good one. I don't know if I feel, one's a little lukewarm. My only real friends are people I can't speak to in real life. All my friends I know in real life are not really true friends to me. I can make a joke about parasocial relationships, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't streaming because I kind of felt lonely too. Because at the end of the day, this Twitch chat or this whole Twitch channel, this whole thing when it started over 7 years ago, I did as a social experiment because I was lonely myself, and I think that a lot of streamers kind of start for the same reason. Like, if you listen to a lot of their backstories, it's a very common thing. They were in school or early in their careers, they had a lot of free time to themselves, and they just kind of wanted to build that community. Say what you will about parasocial relationships, but I don't think it's such a bad thing if it enriches your life in the end. Obviously, don't get too obsessed with it. Let's see. E. How to open this one. Totally get where you're coming from. I'm at a point in my own life where my real life friends are growing busier with spell that right. Busier? Why does that look so weird? With their own priorities. And I spend more time talking to people through chat or instant messaging. Try not to devalue the relationships you have online, though. It may seem superficial on the surface. But you're still talking to people with real feelings that go through real experiences throughout the day. they're spending time with you on the regular, has to mean that relationship has to have meaning, has to have some meaning. All right. Enough of that sappy. Don't project this onto yourselves, chat. Or lurkers, I should say. Those of you watching without speaking up. All right. Emetophobia. Curious. All right. Well, I think we'll call that a night. I know it's a bit of a shorter stream than the last one. For those of you who dropped by this time, I appreciate it. Even the lurkers. At some point, maybe we'll get a more regular thing going. I'm going to try doing 2 weekdays and 1 weekend day, maybe? At the least 1 weekday and 1 weekend day. And we'll see where we go from there, but... Extreme fear of vomiting. No way. I didn't even know that was a thing. Alright, well, all the same, thank you guys for coming by. Keep an eye on the socials if you want to know when I go live again. Leave a comment in the VOD when that goes up on YouTube as well. But good seeing you guys. Good seeing you, Tarragon, again. Good seeing you, Azarada. Good seeing you, Jonathan. Good seeing you, Seal. Good seeing you, Rennie, who will stalk me later because I know her in real life. And yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'm glad you seem to be enjoying it. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful Tuesday evening. Be safe. Make good choice. Pilgrim! What the hell? Pilgrim, where the hell were you?